Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by Play Picks and the Lines. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by my guy Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. And we are looking at a pretty full Wednesday night slate here after a small two-gamer on Tuesday night. In this one, we are looking at the Pacers taking on the Lakers in LA to round out this night. A lot of offense expected in this one. We'll take a look at some of those best bets, such as what Nate has on playpicks.com as well. Check out that article with those best bets and player props in there for you. And make sure to like and subscribe to that page. Got a couple other videos up for you today, including that player props video that we will offer a gift card opportunity in there. And as always, if you do still need a FanDuel or DraftKings account, head to fdpicks.com or dkpicks.com and find those listings in your area, such as what we've got for tonight. Nate, let's get into it.
Yeah, the Lakers are 5-point favorites at home. I expected that to continue to rise. I expect the total to continue to rise. It was 223 when I started writing it up. Now we're at 225.5. You gotta like the over, though, in this situation, despite the fact the Lakers went under for the first time in 5 games against the Jazz on Monday. But we will circle back to that. Yeah, you said it. It is a very full slate tonight here after just 2 games last night. We got Nets -1 at Wizards with a total of 235 there. Love some player props in that game. Yeah. Magic +12 at the 76ers. The Wolves are +1.5 on a back-to-back in Atlanta. Total of 236 there. Also some great opportunities there for player props. Hornets are +3 at the Celtics. The Blazers +10 at the Heat. Grizzlies +6 at Bucks. That is our other game video tonight. We do like Memphis covering there. We do like an under at 229 right now. Cavaliers -2.5 at the Bulls. The Raptors are +4 at the Mavs. Thunder +7 at Spurs. Rockets +13 at Jazz. Clippers +8 at Nuggets. Pistons +7 at Kings. So the Indiana Pacers here, it's Rick Carlisle came in and wanted to play a certain style, and at first had them playing much better defense than poor Nate Bjorken, who just could not stop a nosebleed with that team. And they just said, we're just going to play fast and score 150 points. But lately, since losing Miles Turner to a foot injury, TJ McConnell's been out forever. Malcolm Brogdon continues to try to play through an Achilles injury, that it's just not happening. The Pacers defense has fallen off a cliff. They've lost 10 of their last 11, but in their last 4, their defense has been especially atrocious. 118 defensive rating, allowing about 118 points per game. They are allowing the second most free throw attempts per game in that span. They've gone over in 4 of their last 6. Now, 2 games without Turner, they're averaging a lot more points, though. They're playing a much better pace and space offense. With Sabonis at the 5, you can do a lot more things, right, to get those shots. So they're scoring 115.5 instead of 107.5. While their defensive rating is all the way up to 120 in those 2 games. You need look no further than their last game, where they gave up 139 points to the freaking Clippers, the Clippers team that averages the 5th fewest points per game in the league, Clippers team that gives up the fewest free throw attempts per game. And now they're facing that same team, that same venue, the Lakers, who happen to give up the 3rd most free throw attempts at home. The last time these teams met, they went over for the 3rd time in 4 meetings. The total was 240, and it was a really gross starting lineup alongside LeBron, to be frank. I mean, DeAndre Jordan, Horton Tucker, Avery Bradley, and Russ. It's like, where is the offense coming from outside of LeBron? So he just went ahead and dropped 39. Lakers pulled out a win. They shot 40% from 3, mostly thanks to Mr. Monk coming off the bench. They shot 29 free throws. Indiana got plenty of free throws too. Indiana had a 25-11 assist to turnover ratio and scored 116 despite going just 28% from deep. Again, recently, Indiana's defense terrible, allowing a league-high 46% from deep. It's been pretty bad on the road all season, yet they have been covering against the West, right? They're 10-4 against the spread against Western Conference teams, which to me is just even better for the over. It's saying, they're going to come along here as the Lakers continue to desperately claw to stay in this playoff race. And they've gone over in 5 of their last 6. Their defensive rating has gotten even higher as they've lost 3 of their last 4. So if they struggle to stop Sabonis and that kind of spread offense that I'm talking about, then it seems like we're going to get over into the 120s here for one team or another, and that we should, this, even if this total closes closer to 228, I feel good about an over. And if the Lakers are just -5, I would feel good about teasing it down and then getting that over back to where it started. Get the Lakers at -1.5 along with 224 or so.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I hate taking the Pacers or betting against them in any way. They're all over the place too often for me. But I think in this one, you would like points as well. Both these teams, prefer to get their points inside, not much 3-point shooting, not many percentage of their points off of the three for either team. They both seem to, just want to score down low, and neither of them can stop anybody from scoring down low as well and getting into the paint. Both of them are just brilliant, bottom 10, bottom 12 in opponent points in the paint percentage. And then all those point paints, all of that stuff that you love to see for when the Lakers are going up against another team and you're looking for points. You want that team to be bad in the paint because of the fact that this is, besides Monk, this is LeBron's team, which means LeBron is playing a lot of bully ball, more so than most years as of late. He is shooting a bit more threes as well, but those aren't going in at the rate that you would really worry too much about. As I mentioned, with those 3-point percentages for both teams, neither of them are shooting the ball well, or even needing to defend down low well. So yeah, you look for points all over the place. The Pacers, they're definitely a mess on the road as of late, especially they've lost each of their last 8 on the road. And they give up, especially at Crypto Arena. They haven't covered in 7 of their last 8 against either of these LAC teams. So yeah, you feel really good about them in this building, giving up a ton of points, as you mentioned. The one thing for LA that you mentioned in the show notes is Melo being back. Really, really want that to happen if you want to hit this over. Melo, when he's in there, obviously we know their defensive rating drops a bunch, not shockingly. And then on offense, it's pretty close to the same. But he's really, really important to what that second unit does, to be honest. And honestly, keeping the ball out of Russ's hands a bit more in that second unit actually has been beneficial to this team. So that, because when you look at the lineups on that second unit with Melo in there, the second unit, especially in their first quarter scoring, it's a really interesting, somewhat random stat, but their first quarter scoring is a lot better when Melo's in the game, as it would be expected, considering he comes in about halfway in and takes over those minutes for the second unit to really control that offense. So, I want to take the Lakers here, but to be honest with you, I can't take a Lakers team to win a game that might not be a blowout if Russell Westbrook is in the game, just because of how awful his fourth quarter numbers are. Most turnovers in the league in the fourth quarter, not shockingly. And he's really the reason that I keep coming back to the Lakers going, this sucks. I want to take Malik Monk 3 threes and a win on FanDuel for about even money. I want to get that money line bet for the Lakers, but still get some juice on it. But even in terms of just pulling out the win, if Russ is going to have the ball in his hands as much as he has in recent games, I don't feel comfortable taking this team, which sounds crazy to say, but it's just where we're at these days. So I would stick with the over for now. There's not much of a reason to tease this down to me, unless you really are scared of that 225. But if anything, why not just take a Lakers money line parlayed with that 225 and get those odds up to about plus 155 on FanDuel, just because like I said, like them winning this game, that's the only way I would attack this line is taking that Lakers line without the need for them to cover too many points. But at the same time, if you want to feel really good about your bet tonight, just go ahead and take that over and don't worry about what happens in the fourth quarter there for the Lakers.
Yeah, I mean, the starting lineup I mentioned, it has been adjusted, as we know, with Malik Monk in there. The spacing is better. And I do think Russell will come along eventually with that better spacing. And I honestly think this might be the matchup. I mentioned on Monday that I was taking hella under against Rudy Gobert and the Jazz. Sure enough, he had another dud. But that he is going to come around at some point. And honestly, I'm not going to put it in the player props video. I'm not going to put my name on it. But Russ Westbrook, I think, can get over 18 points tonight. I think he can snap out of this funk a little bit, maybe have a productive fourth quarter, because neither of these teams guard the paint at all. And Indiana, especially when Miles Turner is out, is just a sieve down low. So I think he can slash off that good 3-point shooting and get his the player performance doubles are still a little absurd for him in terms of 25 plus points, not really going to happen. But I would maybe look at 10 plus assists or, just having fun with a triple double in a win. Because it's going to come around at some point for Russ. He continues to fight and claw, and the Pacers with Brogdon hobbled or out and TJ McConnell been out, they just don't have much defense for point guards. So maybe it's now or never in terms of finding a prop for us. But really, that's just a sidebar. Yeah, in this game, I think we're looking at a lot of easy points, a lot of free throws to help us get over, and some good opportunities to. If you don't feel comfortable about the Lakers winning, sure, take that over. But I mean, the Pacers are not. They haven't been inconsistent lately. They've been consistently bad. They've lost 10 of 11,
Fair.
And they are only 8-12 against the spread on the road. And this is a pretty small spread. I don't think that they're going to pull this one out.
No, I'm with you. And, that's really what this game comes down to. I'm not going to focus as much on those Lakers as I will on Indy for this one. I mean, when you give up 139 points to the Clippers, who just 5 games before that had 28 points in the first half against the Nuggets, you've got to assume that there's points to be scored, and the Lakers' defensive rating continues to jump as well, as you mentioned. And that's just going to have to be their identity this season. So winning this game, 130 to 124 is certainly within the realm of possibility for the Lake Show tonight. So that is all the time we have for you in this one. Make sure you are liked and subscribed to the page. We've got those couple other videos, including that player props video we love to bring you each and every weekday. And until we see you next, happy betting.